Welcome back to another episode of the Potato Finance Podcast. I'm here again with our second reoccurring guest, Blake Moore. Blake, how are we doing? How are we doing?
Doing well today. How you doing, Josh?
I'm doing good. I could be better. I could be worse. But you know what? We're hanging in there. We're doing well.
Right?
Yeah,
could be
right.
Better, could be worse.
Could always be better. Could always be worse. How's your portfolio doing?
Portfolio's doing all right since the last time we talked. Yeah, I mean, nothing too crazy.
Do you have any stocks that you've kind of been like looking at? Has anything been going up? Anything going down that you're kind of worried about? Anything been going up that you're excited about? Anything you've been looking into that you want to buy?
So recently, the two main stocks in my portfolio that I'm adding to each week, I'm trying to add to Starbucks and I'm trying to add to ARK. And then some good news for the week. Actually, timing is ironic because we kind of talked about it a lot on the last podcast. Fubo had their earnings yesterday and they killed it.
Yeah. What happened with those? I saw the stock spike, but I haven't really had a chance to dive deep into the earnings.
They went up by like 10 or 11% today. They beat on revenue. They crushed their subscriber goal and they increased outlook for the rest of 2021.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to look at that. It's kind of one of those stocks I don't really have any interest to buy, but I still kind of track. You know what I mean? It's one of those
something different.
One of those stocks I put in like the 1 day category. It's kind of like those fantasy football guys that you kind of leave on the waiver wire, but you're like, maybe if he's there and one guy goes down, I can slide him in a little bit. You know what I mean?
I don't know. It might be too late now. You might have been able to get it in the 20s.
That's
now
fine.
It's in the 30s.
Plenty of fish in the sea. There's more deals out there.
Yeah,
that is for sure.
I hear you.
Have you seen any new stocks that you're looking to buy lately?
Honestly, I have not looked into any new stocks recently. Lately, I've kind of just been focusing on the ones that I have. I know we were just talking about a couple of the ones that you were looking into, so maybe I'll check those out. This isn't anything new, but I've been looking at MO lately, just kind of chasing a dividend there.
What is that? I don't even know what that is. Why don't I know what that is?
It's like the tobacco company.
MO.
Altria, I believe it's Altria.
Oh, I just didn't know what the ticker was.
Yeah.
Oh,
kind of
gotcha.
weird that it's MO and it's Altria. So that might be something that I bring a position into, but at the moment, no, nothing too new. Just kind of sticking with my guns here.
Are you still buying Apple at all?
That's also something that I want to add to, but I haven't recently. Like I said, lately it's just been ARK and Starbucks.
I feel like that valuation's getting a little crazy, and yes. But the thing is, like, the quarter that Apple had is probably, like, the best quarter they have ever had, like, any point. like, since Apple became a public company.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of saying, I'm like, how could... And the stock, like, went down.
I know.
like,
yeah.
I'm like,
and it went down. I think it hit, like, a $150 high, like, recently, 52-week high. And now... Then it went down, I think, to, like, maybe, like, 143. And now it's at, like, 145. I thought it would have definitely gone up after they reported.
I'm just, like, thinking, I'm like... What's next?
Yeah.
Like if they did that well, like I don't even understand. Like,
so I was looking into it. I forget if I was listening to a podcast or if I was reading an article online, and it said that they're looking into an Apple car.
Yeah, they are.
Oh,
going to be a competitor of Tesla. Yeah, that's been around for a while.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Didn't see that coming, did you?
No, I did not know.
My thing with Apple is like I feel like they've just come out with like no real new game-changing products since the iPhone on I guess like the tech side. So I'm just like I don't know, and it's one of those things where it's like. I feel like, and I've said this before, like if they don't replace themselves, eventually someone's going to replace them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's one way to look at it. I agree to disagree, I guess. I just don't see anyone ever, like, I don't see the majority of the population ever, like, not having an iPhone and, like, switching to, like, someone. I mean,
the thing is, you can make that with, like, a lot of things over the years. Like, so many things have changed. Like, I'm sure if you go back,
BlackBerry.
BlackBerry was one, like... No one thought, like 10 years ago it was Walmart, like, you know, like you go back, like things change over time and eventually everyone's going to be one up. Like there's going to be someone that has such a visionary out there that's really going to change, I feel like.
Yeah, hey, it's a good point.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I really haven't been buying anything to be honest. I've been trying to build up like cash levels a little bit. I don't really have anything that's really catching my eye. I know you're talking about, I've been like...
I just feel we might get into this in a little bit, but I don't know, everything's kind of like hovering at like a high-ish, and like the state of the market isn't totally, you know, we don't know about like what's going to be going on with, you know, this Delta variant and potential like lockdowns.
And the Lambda, that's the real one that's a lot of people are concerned about.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I actually don't know that I've heard about
Oof. So, yeah,
Wait,
that's the serious one. That's like the worst one from everything I've read on it.
I try to my news and my social media, like I just recently discovered that you could mute words on Twitter, and it's the best thing that I've ever experienced.
Really?
I think it's the best.
How does that help you?
Oh, it just, I don't have to read anything I don't want to read about certain topics.
It's probably best to not. I mean, it's good to, like, I guess, read a little bit.
I just made a fool of myself there because I've never heard of the Lambda.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. On one end, it's like, all right, you should probably read about it, I feel like, because, well, it'll, update you, it'll teach you, like, you educate yourself on, like, what's going on in the world. But on the other end, like, it's not something you can control. So I try to spend, like, less than 5% of my time researching, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. Like I said, I just discovered that feature, and I felt like I hit a pot of gold.
But how do you feel about, like, the current state of the market with the COVID cases, and how do you think that COVID could affect this market?
I mean, I don't see anything like we saw, last year. I don't think I don't think anything like too crazy is gonna happen. I mean, like,
right.
maybe we'll see a dip, but I don't see it being like crazy where it's like, okay, like now I got to build up like all my cash position, so because it's gonna dip. I mean, who knows? But I just like I feel like at this point, this is just me speaking, like it kind of is what it is, like, and is it really going to affect the market again? Like, I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I think honestly it's probably going to depend.
Who knows, right?
On, no one knows. I think it's really going to depend on if the economy shuts down and how long the economy gets shut down for. I don't think it's going to get shut down for a lot of reasons, but would I be surprised? Not really, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of in the same boat. I don't think it will, but anything could happen,
Yeah, that's the thing. You never really know with this thing. Like, you saw, like, the stock market crash in, like, 3 weeks and then return to all-time highs.
Yeah.
It's, like, insane how fast that happened.
Yeah, in that case, maybe I'll start loading up on Clorox and that kind of thing.
I guess it can't hurt. What do you stocks do you think are going to get hit the most if, say if COVID takes off, and then we'll play two different scenarios here. Let's say the economy doesn't get shut down and the economy does get shut down. Which stocks do you think are going to get hit the most in both those scenarios?
Probably all the ones that I own. No.
Probably all short Blake stocks.
Yeah. So someone said that to me yesterday. It's probably true. I mean, the easy answer is travel.
Yeah, that is the easy answer. Like all the cruise lines and airlines and hotels, like all of those will probably get hit like pretty good. I don't really know which ones would get hit if.
Like, how do you feel about restaurants? How?
I think that's going to go by more of a state-by-state basis, I think. Yeah. I don't know, because I feel like the economy can't really they can't afford to shut down again.
Oh, God.
So,
no. I mean, like,
I feel like it's going to be really hard to really condone the idea of it being shut down by a lot of people.
I mean, we saw whatever it was, 18 months ago, most people can't go without a pay, I mean, no one can go without a paycheck, but most people don't have enough saved to be able to miss a couple paychecks.
Right. It's like very difficult.
It can't, I just don't think, but hey.
Yeah.
Who are we to decide?
Yeah, right. It's not us. Like, and it's tough because on one end you got the people that are like, I'm not saying either one of them are right or wrong, but they're saying like, all right, the economy's got to be shut down. Like, COVID cases are high. Like, we got to make sure everyone's safe. I do get that side. On the other end, it's like, well, these businesses are closed. These people can't make money. They can't make money. They can't feed their families. They can't feed their families. People die.
Yeah.
I also understand that side as well. And then when the economy shut down, even though COVID cases might be lower, there's an argument that can be made that maybe everyone's mental health is also a little bit lower as well because you can't go anywhere. There's nothing you can do. There's a lot of different elements that go into it that, unfortunately, there's really no right answer to.
Yeah. Oh, no, you're 100% right.
Let's switch gears a little bit here. How do you feel about retirement? When do you want to retire?
If in a perfect world, if I could retire before I turned 50, so like 49, that would be perfect. If I didn't have to work full time when I was 50, I think that'd be great.
Now, would you settle for retirement, or would you settle for just having the option to retire? So say it's like, I could retire, but I'm going to keep working.
If I have not done this math, that's way too far off. But if I got to, say I got to mid 40s and I did the math and I had X amount to, pay for my expenses, pay for housing, or had a house paid off by then and could live comfortably, oh, sign me up. I'm retired, baby.
Yeah, that's good.
It's game over.
You wouldn't just like find something you really like to do and just keep doing it?
Well, I guess that, yeah, I guess what's the definition of retired? From my 9 to 5, yes. If I could,
Yeah, I guess
whatever I'm into at that point in life, like, I don't know, I'll always love sports, stuff like that. If I could get into something like that, maybe reffing or something on the side just to make a little cash and do something fun.
It's really different from like working in a cubicle for 8 hours a day for 40 hours a week and doing something you really love and enjoy.
Let me flip the switch here. Let me play moderator here. How do you feel about? I was reading someone on Twitter the other day talking about like a mini retirement. How would you feel about working hard till maybe whatever age, 30, 35, you've got a good amount of cash saved up. You take like 3 or 4 years off, and you don't have to worry about it because you have a lot. You have a big portfolio. You have a lot of cash saved up. Do whatever you want to do for three to 4 years while you're still young, and then get back into the workforce. How do you feel about that? I thought it was something I had never really even thought of or really even read many things about, but it's kind of an interesting. I don't think that I would do it. I think like once I got to the finish line, I'd want to call it quits. But what are your thoughts about that?
I think it's an interesting idea. I think for some people it's very applicable, and I can see why some people want to do it. I personally think it's a very stupid idea.
Yeah.
Because say you retire for 3 to 4 years, right? And you spend all of that money that you had in your retirement, you're essentially starting over. So like say you put like $100,000 in something and you let it grow, it's going to grow so much more as opposed to if you take it out and then start over and have to save with the $100,000 again.
Oh, 100%. And I don't necessarily know that this person was talking about, I've got X amount, I'm going to go through all of it and then start working and start over.
Right.
But I think, maybe, slowly, trim down positions that way. Because there's something to be said for, you retire when you're obviously, you're the normal person, like 65.
Yeah.
You're 65, you're old as dirt. You can't do anything you can enjoy. If you take a little mini in like 30, 35, now you still got some life and you could, take that vacation, spend some time with your family,
It's also tough because you would have to flip a switch because you go. It's not just 1 year; it's 3 to 4 years. It's one thing to take a year off from work and travel.
Yep.
Like okay, and then it's like back to reality. It's another thing to take 3 to 4 years off and blow all that money, do everything you want, and then it's like, oh shoot, I'm out of money.
Grind.
B, I have to go back to an office. And it's not easy just go from doing whatever you want every single day to going back to sitting in a cubicle for 8 hours. It's definitely not that easy.
I'm 100% with you.
It's hard enough for me when I come back from a week's vacation. Like, never mind if I go on a 3 to 4 year vacation. That's like a whole tenure of a student in high school.
This guy on Twitter was all for it. I don't know that I would do it because, like I said,
why was he for? What was his reason that he was for it?
Just timing. Like what you save all this money and say, like I just said, maybe you get to 50. You're still kind of old. I don't know that you want to have do all the things that you might have wanted to do when you were 30, 35.
Right.
Like be able to go, I don't know, say like Vegas, Miami, foreign trips, or spend time with your buddies while they're still young. So I think that's kind of like more what he was geared
I'd rather save my travel. I do want to travel as much as possible now. I might be going on a trip soon that I'm looking into.
Where are you going?
Texas, actually.
Texas, huh?
Yeah. So
what's good there?
Moving to Texas has always been something that appeals to me.
You been there before or no?
I've never been.
I went to San Antonio once when I was younger. It was hot as hell.
I also have a couple potatoes that I'm trying to get to come on the podcast, so going down there would probably be a better thing to do. Link up with them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but I'm excited about it. Even if say I go down there.
What part?
Yeah, like Houston area.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but even if I go down there and say it doesn't work out, like the podcast doesn't work out, first of all, it's a good vacation. Second of all, I've never been there, so it's something new. And third of all, I think it would just be fun. And I've never been on vacation by myself either.
Oh,
so,
that's different. Yeah.
Don't know how I'll like it. Don't know how I'll feel about it. Can't say I'll hate it. I find that hard to believe. If I came back and I said, regardless of what happened, I had a terrible time. I find that very hard to believe. But at the same time, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm kind of 50-50 right now because I just started this new job.
Okay.
And yeah, obviously there's a lot of other stuff going on that we were talking about off the podcast, offline. But yeah, I would say if I had to pick one, I'm leaning towards it right now. But I'm probably going to do a little more digging in tonight and see how much the trip's going to cost.
You should go next May. I'm actually going to a wedding in Houston next May.
Are you?
Yeah.
What part of Houston?
Oh, jeez, I'm not sure.
Yeah, you don't even know?
No, I'm
too
not
far
sure.
away?
Yeah, I'm not that in tune with it. But yeah, so that's cool. Good for you. Sweet.
Yeah. But 50. Why 50 and not anything earlier? Or do you think that's like the best you can do?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. If I could sit here and tell you it was 40 or 35, I don't know that my investments and my 9 to 5 are really gonna push me over the edge that much. I mean, hey, maybe I'm underestimating myself, but I also Also wouldn't want to set a goal that wasn't like too unrealistic, because then I might, not be that happy if it doesn't come,
Right. That makes sense.
Definitely.
That's interesting. What is your plan to get there? Do you plan on just working like a 9 to 5, or do you have like some sort of business you want to start, or kind of like, what's your plan?
These investments and everything to just take right off. No, I'm just kidding. Well, that
Just ride Fubo to the moon?
definitely 9 to 5. I've contemplated side jobs. I took the real estate course. I've kind of been dragging my feet with that, but I need to kind of like take the test and get licensed for that. So that's one thing.
I thought you already got your license.
I took the class. I haven't gotten licensed. I still have to take the test. I've kind of, like I said, summer came, having a good time, same boat as you. Like right after I'd gotten the license, right after I'd taken the class, I had started a new job. So it's kind of like all in, like, let me just focus on this for now.
You know what I was thinking the other day? Just one little quick note before we move on. I feel like everyone in the summer is like, I'll wait until the winter to do this. And everyone in the winter is like, I'll wait until the summer to do this. But the reasons are both valid. It's not just like I'm putting it off forever. It's like in the summer, there's so much to do. Like, especially here on Island, there's so much more to do than in the winter. And in the winter, it's cold. You just like naturally don't want to do anything. So you're just like, I'll wait till it's warmer.
Curl up in bed,
I'm more motivated. Yeah. And I'm just like, at a certain point, it's like, you just got to do it. Like, if you keep putting it off, you're not going to do it.
Oh, you're preaching to the choir, bro. That's what I need to hear. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, and I've always thought about, I mean, my car is, I don't even think I'm dating my car here. I don't think it's within the Uber range, but I've always thought like Uber would be a good way to make money.
I do Uber for a little bit.
Yo, you did?
And Lyft.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, wasn't a big fan.
Really?
I felt
strangers in the car. Neat freak.
No, not so much. No, not so much the strangers in the car. That didn't bother me because I pick guys up. You get like different guys. Some guys talk to a lot, great conversation. Some guys it's like they just, if you like say hi to them, you're like the devil, as some may say. But I didn't feel like the money was that great personally. I felt like that was a big issue and a big incentive behind it. Like I think you can make bank and tips if you catch the right crowds and maybe you do it enough. And maybe I just didn't do it enough. Maybe that's it, because I stopped it pretty quickly. I only did it for a few weeks and was like, this isn't worth it. And it was just like sparingly within those 2 weeks. But at the same time, I felt like the money that you get from, I guess, the rate of driving people around, it was like break even at best. And I didn't think it was worth the wear and tear on my car.
I think it depends on your the situation, like a lot of, where you live. That's one thing, and your commute to work. Hear me out here. So now and in the past, I had an internship. And it was literally like 3 streets over from TF Green.
Yeah.
So I was like, why am I not picking dudes up in the morning?
I was going to say that.
And then right now, currently, I work in West Warwick, and that's two or three exits away. So I'm like, why don't I just loop around 195? I'll pick someone up on the way in Providence or Cranston or whatever, and boop, bring them right to the airport. It's not like I'm going anymore not out of my way. So that's one thing that I've thought about too. But
that'd be cool. And I think that's a good idea. But the thing is, you also got to remember like
timing
and how often is that perfect storm going to hit? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like you could probably find a guy and bring him to the airport every day, but is that guy going to be on the way? How far is that guy going to be off the highway? That's the thing. Like if you can find the right guy, more power to you. Exactly. But I don't know if you're going to find that right guy 5 days a week.
The perfect situation.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's the thing though. Even if you say you only were able to do it twice a week, or I mean, hey, it would still you're going there anyway, so it'd still be.
Yeah, but it's a side gig. Like if I needed money, I wouldn't be like opposed to going back to it. Because this is what I mean. You can just there's tons of ways to make money.
Where were you mostly just like? Because I know you're in North Kingstown. Where were you bringing people? Was it URI kids or was it?
I was kind of like exploring with different areas. I think the thing is with it, you've never done it, right?
Never, no.
Yeah. So the thing is you'll say, all right, I'm going to start in East Greenwich, but then you're like, all right, let me go to East Greenwich and pick up this guy, and then you're like, all right, I got to bring him to Warwick, and then it's like, oh, here's the next guy right here in Warwick, and then you're like, oh, there's this over the guy in Province that's going to Narragansett. Then you go to Narragansett, and you're like, oh, there's this guy in Newport. Yeah. So it's kind of like you don't even realize, but you're moving around very often. Yeah. It's actually surprising how far you will go and you don't even realize it, because you're only all right, it's only a 20-minute ride, it's only a 15-minute ride, it's only a 10-minute ride, and then before you know you've been driving 3 hours.
And like you're saying,
and you're like,
that
WTF.
adds up in gas, and you're wearing away at your car. So I get it, but that's also something that I've thought about. We'll see if I actually ever pull the trigger.
Yeah, but I'm like, if I had to do it again, I would do it, but I don't know
Wouldn't be your first choice.
It wouldn't be my first choice, just because all that drive and the wear and tear on your car, and then it's like when you want to go somewhere, you're like, I've been driving all day, like I don't want to go anywhere, so you have like you're mentally fried, and it's kind of like, yeah, it just takes a toll on you.
Why do that when you can sit here and make YouTube videos?
Yeah, right. Isn't that the truth? Now, anyway, getting back on topic here, why do you think so many people really don't plan ahead for retirement?
It's a good question, and I don't even know that it's just retirement in general. I don't think people can plan for anything. So let alone like something that's like 30 years in advance. Like some people, like I saw a thing. Oh crap! No, it was actually you. It was on Instagram today. Like think 3 to 5 years away. Like because like those those are the decisions where you are now. The decision that you made 3 to 5 years ago is like the reason you're here right now.
Yeah, right. That's like
it's so true. It's crazy. And I think a lot of it just has to do with like, I don't know, people like many, like, I'll BS some percentage. Like I'd say like 3 out of every 4 people are irresponsible.
Yeah.
Like they can't, they just want
to live the high life all the time.
Exactly.
Like they don't want to like, and Instagram's honestly probably, man, really all social media's done such a bad job at all this. It's just like you see all these great pictures. You see people in LA, you see people in Vegas, you see people in Europe, and maybe you're not seeing as many of those pictures now, but you're probably still seeing them.
Oh, definitely.
And you see all these highlights and people having fun, but I'm not going to post a picture of me just typing on a computer for 6 hours.
Yeah.
Like, why would I do that? Like, no one's going to be interested in that. Like, and this is someone who's very open about that. So it's like, that's what all these people are seeing, and they're like, I got to do this, got to do that, I got to go here, I got to go there.
And I think a lot of it has to do with like we kind of say all the time, like people think like investing is gambling. So they're like, oh, like why wouldn't I just go buy a $50,000 truck or car or whatever? Yeah. I'll have this like, and I'll enjoy it now. Maybe it'll, maybe the chicks will like me more if I have a better looking car, or maybe if I go on this vacation with my friends and I have a really cool Instagram post or this or that, I'll look, I think at the end of the day, a lot of it, like people are so concerned with what other people think of them that if they're like taking their hard-earned money and putting it somewhere that they're not going to see it for, 30 years in retirement, or investing it and even looking in like a 5 to 10 year window, it's like they can't fathom that, because they need to be doing something that makes them look like cool or relevant in society. And
on the last podcast, I was talking to Nick about, I don't know if it was this topic or it was a similar topic. It might have been investing in general, or like why people are bad with money. It might have been something along those lines. He made a really good point. It pertains to a lot of the times the parents, like, are the parents bad with money? Do the parents plan for retirement? Are the parents own with money?
That's interesting.
Like, think about it. If I talk to my kids about like stocks, mutual funds, like for, from the times they're, let's say 14 to the time they're 18, do you think they won't understand what the stock market is and they don't understand how to make money in the stock market, at least to some degree?
Oh, I mean, it has such a big, although I can see both sides, because I know some like pretty wealthy parents that have kids that are not interested in the stock market at all.
I guess that makes sense, but have those parents taught them this?
That
are they just like, I'll just live off of mommy and daddy's money, like that type of thing?
Good point too. But yeah, no, I think you raise a great point. I can only speak from my own, my own parents. I mean, they're not into the stock market at all.
Yeah.
I mean, like I grew like pretty fond of it.
Yeah. Neither am I.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think, like my dad told me like one story, like, I don't know, back in his day, he put, I don't know, like a few grand into like one stock that his buddy was telling him about, or someone at work or something. And he said like it literally went to zero, and he said like he was done.
What stock was it?
Oh God, I'd have to ask him.
Oh my God,
I have to ask him.
That's a great story.
And he said like he was literally done, and now it's just like 401k. He just like doesn't even like think about it. He just like maxes that out, and that's it.
That's crazy. But when you invest in a 401k, most of the time you're investing in the stock market.
Exactly.
I don't think
so. I think he was just done with like the picking his own stock. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fair. All right. My thing is, and I was talking to someone about this the other day. They're just like, I have no desire to retire. They're like, I have no ambition to do this.
No desire to retire.
They're like, I love my job, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like, you don't have to retire, but wouldn't you rather have like the option? Like, you don't have to play the wild draw 4, but it's nice to have the wild draw 4 when someone else gets down to Uno.
Definitely.
Like, I don't know, and maybe honestly, and a lot of it probably goes back to a comfort zone thing, because a lot of people, they're just not like, they're like, the stock market's gambling. They don't feel comfortable putting money in this place where they don't know what it is. Some people don't even feel comfortable putting money in a high yield savings account.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm just like, that especially baffles me. 'Cause I'm like, it's literally a bank. Like,
I was talking to one of my friends the other day. Love the kid. And he was texting me. We were talking in the morning, and he said, "Hey, what's that stock that you were talking about? It begins with a V." And I'm like, "Crap! Like, which one?" And because I had suggested, like, he was talking to me about getting into investing, and like he doesn't make like crazy money, but he makes like pretty decent money for his age.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, like, just buy like one share, because he's like, I don't want to blow all my money, in case I lose it, but I want to have some investment. I was like, dude, buy one share VTI a week. If you buy one share VTI a week, you will make money.
Even
guaranteed.
half a share.
Guaranteed you will make money in its 5, 10, 15-year time gap. Then I send him the chart. I send him the Seeking Alpha chart.
It's just like a straight line.
It's literally like, there's one, like 2 dips. He's like, so I'm late to the party. I'm like, no.
Like,
So it's just like things like that. Like, just like I think a lot of it is just like fear of the unknown as well.
Yeah.
Like, I don't love dogs. Fear of the unknown. Like, I don't know. One could snap at me at any point.
I guess
kind of,
so.
that kind of thing,
Yeah, we make a good point. Like, if you look at any point on that chart during that straight line, you could have been late to the party here or here or here or here, and it's still just going.
And you
up
still
and up
made,
and up.
you still made money. You could have bought in a month ago and thought you were late to the party, and a month ago now you're up.
Like, it's one thing, and the way I look at this is, it's one thing if you like look into it, you educate yourself, and you're like, you know what? I don't have any interest. For whatever reason that is, at least you looked into it, and I will respect that. For whatever the reason is, maybe you can't stomach it. To just say you don't have interest in it without knowing what the hell's going on, I think is completely friggin' ignorant.
Yeah, and I definitely agree.
I really think that.
I just think it's good, and like you just like even you read about inflation lately, like it's stuff like that. I mean, it's good to like hedge yourself.
Money's out there to be made.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like people look at other people, like maybe like even if it's like me, maybe someone else who invests in stocks, and I feel like
they got lucky.
Or I should feel bad because I took the time to teach myself how to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you literally have the same exact resources.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. You got this computer. You got a phone. Like, I read on my lunch break at work. I like read like, I don't know, they call themselves like Money Twitter. And like I just read like there are a couple different guys on there. One guy's preaching index funds. One guy's preaching like doing his research. It's just there's so many different ways to go about it too. And to say that you're not interested in any of them is just it's like you said, it's a little ignorant.
I liked your idea though about buying one share, because that to me, it's like if you have no money in the stock market and you have $10,000 to your name, let's say, and you put $8,000 into VTI, that could be pretty dramatic to watch that volatility. Like, yeah, you're like checking your portfolio every 2 seconds, like that type of thing. But if you buy one share at a time, you're going to get used to that volatility.
Oh, definitely.
And so it's like, say,
like
you put $200 in there, if you have 10 grand, like, yeah, you don't want to lose $200, but it's going to be like, all right, I'll just put it back in my bank account next week when I get my chest.
It eases you into it, and I bet you, like, after you actually saw it, and after a while, if you could afford 2 shares a week, then you'd do it.
Yeah, don't jump in the water with both feet. That's for sure. You got to put your toe in first.
Definitely.
But anyway, what do you have to say to people that are being, I guess, kind of like ignorant, like we said, and that are not taking advantage of the stock market or any sort of investing, or at least educating themselves about it?
Simple as me screenshotting that VTI chart and saying, look, like this is it. Like, you could have got in at any point and you would have made money. No, I mean, that's a short answer. But I mean, it's like it's a proven way to make money. And who's a famous guy that said, if you can't make money while you're sleeping, then
yeah. It's like if you can't make money while you're sleeping, you'll work until you die. That's what it is.
I think that's what it is. Yep. And for me personally, like, I don't know, I think it's kind of fun to just like ride around, like you see a Starbucks, you're like, hey, I kind of own some of that. You know? Just like different things like that. But yeah, I mean, yeah. And another thing I'll say is like, if you're, maybe you're into, it depends what you're into. Maybe you're into, I don't know, I keep bringing up Starbucks. Maybe you're into coffee. Maybe you're into technology. Maybe you're into sports. Maybe you're into sports gambling, like different things like that. There are so many different companies out there that I think if you have like a hobby, any kind of hobby, like looking into investing into something like that is worth it,
I think that's a great point.
And I also saw like a tweet recently that said like if you spent, I don't know what a Starbucks I don't even drink coffee, but if you buy a $6 Starbucks coffee, you should go and put $6 into Starbucks stock.
Yeah.
Or you buy you buy $1,000 iPhone, you should go put 1,000 into Apple.
Yeah.
Just things like that. But I keep saying I feel like it's just like a proven way to make money, and especially as of late with like the inflation numbers, I feel like it's a good way to hedge yourself. You know?
I agree completely. Why do you think money's such a taboo topic?
I love this topic because this is something that I ask myself all the time.
I hate it.
I think it's literally crazy that, I wish that you could just be, maybe we were talking or whatever, and what'd you have for dinner last night? I wish that question was, hey, what do you make at your job? How much you making?
Yeah.
Or hey, what stocks do you have?
Yeah.
Like me and you will talk about that. But I have one friend in particular I'm thinking about right now that like I know he makes good money, works his ass off, has a great job. But like if I asked him about his retirement account, he'd be like, dude, like why are you asking me about that?
Really?
Yeah. Oh god, yeah.
Why?
He's like one of my good friends. I think he thinks it's like rude to talk about. I think that's what society is kind of like. I almost think that's like what society is like programmed people to think, and I hate it.
I don't understand how that started because I was never brought up under that impression. I've always been very open about money.
Oh, my mom gets so mad at me. Like I'm always like family friend will like buy a house. For example, like family friend just bought a house. And she's talking to her friend on the phone about it. I'm like, oh, like what'd they buy it for? She's like, I don't know. I didn't ask. I'm like, Mom, that would have been the first thing that I asked. Like, you don't know?
It's one thing if it's like some random guy that you've met twice.
Yeah.
But it's like a completely different story if it's like, all right, I've known you my entire life.
Yeah. Like, no, case by case basis. But all most of the friends that I've had for a long time, I have a good relationship with. I can tell like which friends like wanna like talk about it and which ones are like, dude, like I don't want to,
I usually have a pretty good idea. The thing is like some people, I don't know, I feel like some people, I don't want to say they want to talk about it, but they throw out things like, oh, I have like, this much in debt, or I have like, I can't afford this, can't afford that, like with everything.
A lot of it comes off as like arrogance if you're saying like, oh, I make X amount of money. But a lot of it, I could tell you right now how much I make, and you wouldn't think wouldn't be arrogant. Like we were talking about it earlier.
Yeah.
Like it's not arrogant. Like I don't care.
Like, I don't look at it that way, but the reason I don't bring it up to people is because maybe I don't want to make people jealous, or I don't want to make people feel bad about themselves. That's the reason I usually don't bring it up. It has nothing to do with my incentives or view on it, because it's like, if most people ask me, I'm going to answer the question like without even missing a beat.
I don't care. But it's almost like back to what you're saying about the stock market. And like you're saying, everyone's got on the same, for the most part, everyone's on the same platform. So like that way of thinking where like you don't want someone to like feel bad. It's a case by case basis. Everyone's situation is different, but for the most part, like
that's true. But like, I don't know, maybe some people got in like bad situations.
Oh, it's a case by case basis, 100%.
Yeah, like maybe they lost their job and then they had to take out this much debt to get by, and then this happened and they got in a car accident, and maybe there's just this long line and they're big dollars in debt. And then I tell them how much money I have, and they're just like, bro, like WTF.
Yeah.
Like it just makes them feel even worse about the situation they're in. That's why.
Yeah. Oh, but I talk about this like all the time. I wish money wasn't such a taboo topic, and I think it really hurts people in the long run. So for example, like we were just talking about like Instagram. Everyone wants to like put on Instagram like what they're doing, what they bought, this, that, the other, their car, their vacation. Flip the script. What if that was like stocks? Like what if you were on there all the time and like, I have X amount, I have 100 shares of this stock and I have 50 shares of this stock. Do you think it would get more people into investing, and it would set people up better for their financial future, and people would stop like worrying so much about like stuff that really doesn't matter in the long run? Wouldn't that be cool? It's never gonna happen.
It's never gonna happen. That's a very tough question to answer, and I don't know, to be honest. Because I feel like maybe in a way, I'm sure the percentage would go up of people that are investing and the people that are taking like serious control of their financial future. But there's always going to be a percentage that are just like, I have no interest in money for whatever reason.
Yeah,
it's like we're going to take the most important thing that you need to essentially survive.
Yeah.
And we're going to make it so you don't talk about it. I'm like, how does that even work?
I wish it was Keeping Up with the Joneses like personal finance level,
Yeah.
related. I have two friends that you're one of them, and another buddy of mine that have like significant amount of money in the stock market and are willing to talk about it, which I really like. And I wish I had more friends like that, because that kind of like motivates me.
I was just about to say that.
Get it going more. And I have many friends, and some of them are not interested at all. Some of them are interested minimal, like very minimally.
Yeah.
And then I have like a couple friends that are like super into it, and that kind of like motivates me. Like, all right, Blake, come on, let's get it going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm like above a lot of them, but significantly below some others.
Right.
So I just feel like if it was like keeping up with the Joneses, like I said, like personal finance style, I think that would really benefit people. But yeah, no, this is just like something that I really like talking about.
How often do you ask people like how much money they have invested, or how much money they have in general, or how much they make an hour? Any one of those?
I mean, it totally depends on the friend. I wish I could ask all the time. So I used to.
But you feel nervous asking, even if you know they're okay with it, don't you?
Like I said, it really a case by case basis. Like I mean, like we were just talking off the podcast, and I asked you. I knew you were gonna spit it right back out. I knew you didn't care. But I have some friends that I would have been like sitting on the edge, like, oh, like maybe they're gonna like be like, dude, like why do you give a crap,
Yeah.
Backstory: before the current job I have now, I did taxes. I worked at a CPA firm. And like my favorite part of that job was like seeing like what stocks people had and like what trades they were making. And I wish it was more like you could
like
actually like talk about that with even like I wish I could talk about that with like my friends' parents, like stuff like that, like ones that I know are like super successful. I wish I could, Yeah,
because like you said, it motivates you. It helps you learn too.
Definitely.
It's like the big thing, because it's like. It's easy to say like, when I was your age, I started investing in the stock market and I made a lot of money. But it's another thing to say, all right, when I was your age, I started getting like $1,000 in returns. Then I started getting $5,000 in returns. Then I got $10,000, and I was a millionaire by the time I was this age. Like that helps. Like putting the number, like putting a name with the face helps.
Oh, 100%.
As opposed to just like giving someone a name.
Or just reading an article online, like a Seeking Alpha article about some random guy that, he's made X amount in the stock market. I don't know this guy. I'm not going to know him if he walks into my living room.
Yeah.
But like people that I actually know, I just feel like it hits more to home, and it's just like, okay, like this is interesting.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to ask me, I'll talk about it. I don't care.
What do you think is the biggest mistake that people make in their 20s? Because that's a time, and maybe this is going to be investing related, maybe this is not, but that's a very unique time where I think that kind of separates almost the men from the boys in a way, because you can either really like buckle down, accept where you are, and say, I'm going to do this. Like, I believe I can do this. I'm going to go get it. Or you can kind of hit the cruise control button and kind of roll the dice and see if a Yahtzee comes up.
I think it's fairly simple answer. I feel like just people living above their means, like just taking on debt, spending way more on like luxury apartments or like luxury cars or luxury vacations that like they can't afford, like they're not making enough money to do that. But like I said, this so and so went, this one went, like she's going, he's going, like I gotta go. I think that has a lot to do with it. I find it crazy. Like, I don't know. I think the average income in Rhode Island, median like household income, might be like what, 80, 90 grand in Rhode Island?
I don't even think it's that much.
Yeah, maybe 70.
It's probably, I don't know. I don't think it's that much, to be honest, because I don't think the job market in Rhode Island is very good, first of all. And second of all, there's a lot of people that...
I think the per person, like median income in Rhode Island might be like 45. So it's pretty low.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
But it's absolutely crazy. You drive around like on the highway, I see Beamers, I see Audis, I see all Rhode Island plates. I see some Range Rover. I mean, that's not to say that some wealthy people have it. Like, it's just people living above their means.
So I dated a girl, when did we break up? Like 2018 or so. And I was like I really wanted a new car. I was really working hard to buy a new car. And
the one that you have now?
No, I just got this car last year. But I was really working hard, and she was like, I think you should get like a used car and just do that. And I was like, what are you, crazy? I have the money for a new car. She was 100% right. She was 110% right.
Oh God, yeah. I mean,
and I did that, and I took her advice. I haven't talked to her in years.
That's actually
but
I'm surprised that you had to be convinced of that at the time. I feel like
I wasn't as big into it then.
Okay.
Like, I was kind of into like I've always been a saver, but I was kind of like, I've been saving for a new car. I might as well buy it. But
that's interesting. It's funny. I saw a car at work. Like, cars do not catch my eye. Like, I've just never been into cars.
Yeah.
Like, never really cared. But I saw one car at work that kind of caught my eye the other day, and I was like, let's see how much this is. I look it up. A used one with like 100. It was some Acura. Used one with like 138,000 miles on it was like 25 grand. I'm like, get out of here.
Those MSRPs are like insane right now.
No
I
shot.
can't believe it.
So yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it. Partying. I mean, like, I know people that
I don't even think that's as much of. I think you should a little bit.
Everything in moderation.
Is good, but I feel like some people go overboard. Like, I look back and I'm just like, I could have been so much more productive in so many different ways. Like, and I could have been so much further along than I am now if I just used half of my brain.
I still could be so much more productive than I am now, but I know that every day you get a little better and you learn.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know guys that are not making big money, but it's nothing to go spend like $200 on a bar tab.
Nothing, right? New iPhone. Oh, I gotta have that. Throw a credit card down. But I have to throw $50 a week into an S&P 500 fund. What are you, insane?
I would almost say the iPhone is actually a way better investment than the bar tab in the car, though.
I would agree. At least you can use the iPhone to make money in some way, shape, or form.
Exactly.
There's so many mistakes I see people make. I think the one that really hurts me the most is there's two. I think that really hit home. First one is people don't go after their aspirations and their dreams, whatever it is. They just settle for less than what they can accomplish. That one really hurts me. Another one is people don't educate themselves. Like, I'm just like, there's tons of things I've looked into. No desire to ever look into them again, but I'll look into them because what if I see an opportunity, or what if I see something I didn't know was there before?
Definitely.
So I think those two things, those really hurt. And it really hurts when I'm like talking to someone and they're just like, oh, cool. And they're not even listening. I'm just like, one, you're wasting my time, which I can never get back. So thanks for that. I'll never break anything down for you again. And two, I'm like, you didn't even listen to 10 words I just said. Like, you are completely missing the other side of the coin here.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I feel like a lot of people are, with what this whole podcast is about, with like investing. I just feel like there's so many tools out there and there's so many different ways to go about it, and just to like be totally ignorant to it and not want to like get into it at all is just like a little bit crazy to me. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know a lot about everything. I know, like, I always say I know like a little bit about like a few things that I'm like really into, and that's about it. But I mean it's just case by case basis. But I mean, I think you're right. I think a lot of people they get comfortable, and they just don't want to break out of that bubble. I was listening to a podcast the other day. Was it a podcast or was I reading an article? I forget. But it was just like, even just like people get into the same routine over and over and over again, that they just
realize it.
They just like lock in. They're like, even if you just take like one different turn on your way to work, or like just like cook something different for breakfast, or in a different way, like just do something different just to get your mind thinking, just to get like, so you're not on autopilot,
Yeah, right.
Just to kind of open up different ways of thinking.
That's part of the reason I really like the whole work from home movement in a way, because it's like, although maybe you are doing the same thing, but every single day, you have more time. Like, you can do different things in the morning. Like for my new job, when I go into the office this next couple of weeks, it's like I get up at 5, like I'll do some stuff like quickly as much as I can. I'll lay everything out I want to do. Then I'll try to do something like active, because I'm sitting at a desk all day. So maybe I'll go for like a walk, get some sunlight in, go for a run, that type of thing. Go to work, and we got here at the same time, about 5:15. So it's just like, by that point, unless you're like a super night owl, your day's winding down.
Oh God, yeah.
Like, and people don't think of it that way, but I notice it more now going to the office after working from home for a year and a half. It's just like, there is so much time lost, and I think you really need time to essentially just explore and expand.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. Actually, I'm kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum. I mean, I know you lose time. I actually like going to the office a little bit more than I like
Really?
working from home. Yeah.
Interesting. Have you ever worked from home?
I did. Yeah, I worked.
Okay, fair enough.
I worked from home I worked from home from like July. No, what the hell am I saying? From like April to this past beginning of February.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, like I just felt like I like my commute to work.
How far are you driving to work?
It's like 40 minutes, so it actually is like kind of far.
All right. I thought you were going to say like 5 minutes.
No,
all right, 5 minutes.
I wish. But no, I mean, I can listen to stuff in the car. I just feel like, I don't know, I kind of, like we're saying routine. I kind of have my routine.
I can
But I also, just from a work perspective, I just feel like I'm more productive in the office.
Oh, dude, I've noticed I am way less productive in the office.
Really?
Because thing is, it's like here, I essentially, for lack of a better phrase, make my own schedule. Like,
yeah.
I do what I want. There's no one around distracting me. If someone calls me, I can hit decline. It's probably not the best idea, but I can. The office, it's like, let's walk over here, like, and talk to this person. Hey, why don't you stop by over here? You want to go for a walk? You want to do this? Oh, it's lunch. It's this. There's so many different distractions. Like, oh, you want to go to the bathroom? Oh, it's occupied. Let me go back. And like, oh, I got to go to the bathroom. Still occupied. Like, let me go back again. There's so many distractions. I feel like I am way more productive working from home.
Well, that's another thing that I actually like about working in the office too. Is you just have, I mean, and some people are a pain in the behind, but you have a little more social interaction. You know,
that's
sitting
fair.
Sitting in the apartment all day gets a little
fair.
dragging.
I've also noticed, like, one benefit I will say to going into the office is, like, when you leave work, you can go home and relax.
It's home.
But yeah, but when I'm done working, when I work from home, it's like the first thing I want to do is I want to get up and leave.
Oh,
like,
God, yeah.
Anywhere, whether it's
a great feeling.
The golf course, whether it's out to eat, you know, maybe go meet a friend, hang out. I just want to leave and go to the gym. That's another one I really love to do after work. I just want to get out of the house for a little bit of time.
Exactly. And that's another thing I think I didn't like about working from home is it just made everything like one area.
That's fair.
Hey, what are you going to do, right?
What do you think is the most important lesson people learn in their 20s? Let's talk about the biggest mistakes they make. What about the biggest lesson?
I think I'd like to say time management. I think for what I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like most people are getting college degrees like they're going out of style, but and I don't know that college like teaches you the best skills like work wise, like when you actually get into like a specific field.
I agree.
But I think time management is good in college. So like people in their 20s that are just coming out of college, I think that's a big one. I just feel like, you know, you just practice like getting on like we're saying, like getting into a routine, getting into a schedule. So I think that's good. I don't know. What are you thinking?
Well, I don't think college really prepares you for the real world at all, because it's like,
no, it doesn't.
Oh, I have one 8 a.m. class. Let me go to that and go watch Netflix the rest of the day.
Yeah, let me go from
like,
8 to 9.
And that is the most unrealistic thing I have ever heard in my entire life.
Definitely.
Like, I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you're an entrepreneur. I don't care if you're a 9-to-5er. That is not realistic when you get older. But I really think the most important lesson people learn is that life is hard. And it's supposed to be hard. And you either have a choice to either just go get whatever you want, to go make it happen, to figure it out, to really buckle down and do it, or you can be someone who's just content with where they are and let life pass you by. And there's this one quote from this book I'm listening to now. It says, "Fear doesn't prevent death, it prevents life."
What's the book?
Think Like a Monk.
That's on my list.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Really good so far. Really like it a lot.
That's fun. It's off topic, but we've been on a few of the same books recently. I don't know how we've gotten that.
What was that other one you were reading?
I'm reading The Power of Now.
That's the one.
I like that book a lot. It's funny you say, and I've been listening to a certain podcast lately, and on one of the episodes they're kind of talking about life and just like everyone thinks that life is like gonna be easy, but yet like everybody knows that like life is hard. Like
it's
you
hard,
go through hardships, and like that's kind of like,
I don't think people understand how hard it actually is, because it's like the older you get, the harder it is.
Oh, 100%.
I thought life was hard 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I look at now, I'm like, that was the dream. Like, you know,
100%. I mean,
that
like,
was the freaking dream.
I look back like when I was in college and I was working like three days a week, and like I thought it sucked. You know, I'm like, oh, I gotta go to work. I gotta work 3 days a week and take like 4 or 5 classes. See, that was a piece of cake.
You got the whole summer off a lot of the case. You got to work less than 20 hours a week at a lot of times. Like, if you're really pushing it, you can work 40 hours, but you can take days off if you want and all this different things. It was the dream.
Yeah,
I mean, now no one even realizes how hard things really can get for you. And the thing is, like, you can either make them really hard and really work hard and then cruise down the road and be very happy with yourself, or you can put a bucket over your head, completely forget about it, and just live the rest of your life as it being very hard.
Yeah. Oh, no, I like that a lot. I totally agree. I think, like I said, I think a lot of people go through life like thinking that they're like the only pebble on the beach, and like everything is like happening to affect them, but little do they know, like, you know, life is hard for everyone, and like it's not all about you at the end of the day. Like everyone goes through some shit at one point or another.
Yeah,
you know?
and I feel like people, like, they think they're stressed out, but I'm like, I don't think you understand exactly what stress is. Like, yes, you are probably stressed out for what your stress levels can handle, but like, I guarantee you what you are dealing with is something that can really be handled pretty easily.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, I feel like most people way over, like, I used to be like stressed about work, like certain work projects, this or that, and like now I'm looking back and I'm just like, in the grand scheme, like this, I'm not working at this job anymore, but in the grand scheme of things, like, why was I like beating myself up over these things?
Yeah,
you
right.
know, it's like you look back and it's just like, it wasn't real stress. Real stress is like the single parent with 3 kids and has to like make ends meet. It has to pick whether to feed her kids or pay rent, you know?
Yeah, right.
So
anyway, moving on, a couple more things before I let you go here. Let's talk about crypto a little bit. How do you feel about crypto? Do you own any crypto? I know you've said you own some. Do you have as much crypto as you do in stocks? Can I talk about the crypto side of your portfolio a little bit?
I do not have as much crypto as I do stocks. Let me do some quick math here. I would say crypto is probably like 10 to 12%
so small.
So pretty small, but not nothing.
Yeah.
I've got some Bitcoin. I've got some Ethereum. I've got like a few like quote unquote like altcoins. And it honestly, it depends when you're talking to me about how I feel about it. I mean, like if we were talking about this like 6 weeks ago, I would have told you I fell for the world's biggest Ponzi scheme. But now I'm feeling like we're back on the right track. I will say I am not. I have what I have in there for now is what I'm keeping. I'm not adding to it at all. I cannot handle the volatility.
No interest at all in adding.
I'm keeping what I have, and I'm prepared for it to go to zero, or I'm prepared for it to make me like
tens of millions of dollars.
Like $10 million. I just like to see it go down like 15, 20, 25, 30% in like a week or 2 days is just like way too much for me. So I'm just like, I'm keeping what I have, and I'm not putting any more into it. I feel like I have enough exposure to it because here's like, I feel like, I don't know, at least me, I don't want to be late to the party. Like the VTI guy. I don't want to be late to the crypto party. I want to at least have some skin in the game so I can say I made, you know, if it really, really pops like some people think it will. But I also don't want to have so much in it that when it goes to zero, I'm going to, you know, jump off a bridge.
Have you considered selling it?
No, because I'm down right now.
Yeah. Like, what if you came back to break even?
Okay, so like 6-7 weeks ago, I was telling myself, once I get back to break even, I am done with this. I'm done. I think I was fooling with myself. I'm gonna keep it for the long haul until maybe I don't know. Lately, I've been telling myself that maybe I'll use it to like buy my next car. So whenever my car craps the bed and I need a new car, whatever I have in crypto, that'll be my car money. And it's just like, it's interesting to me. And like, I've listened to like, you know, YouTube videos, podcasts, I've read about it and stuff, but it's just so foreign to me because like, unlike stocks, I just feel like there's nothing to compare it to because it's so new. And there's just no, for example, like, you know, I see some people here and there, they're like, oh, Bitcoin to 100K by the end of the year. How do you know?
How did
Why?
you get to that? Please
Why?
explain
Why?
that to me, because I would love to hear that.
Because, and I'm like, yeah, like, let's go. My, 7.13% of a Bitcoin is going to, let's go. But I'm just like, there's been nothing else for you to draw that determination. Well, look at these factors and these different like parallel lines and this and that. But I just feel like it's so new. And like, here's another thing. Like so I know this one guy who's super into crypto. And he's sending me these different videos, different articles about this one. I don't know what you want to call him, Bitcoin king or something. And he got into Bitcoin at like $3,000 and bought, I don't know what it was, 3, 4, 5, 6 Bitcoins. And now he's the crypto king.
The crypto
king. And
even a blind squirrel finds a nut.
And this person that I'm close to is telling me this guy's so smart, like he knows. I don't think that this guy like is some genius. I think he just got super lucky. I think if I bought Bitcoin at $3,000 and I would immediately make a podcast, I'd immediately start writing articles and everyone would start reading them because I bought Bitcoin at $3,000 and now it's at 50.
It's like the Dogecoin millionaire.
Exactly.
Like same exact thing.
Exactly. So I mean, I like it. I do think, and I just told you I'm not adding to it. Talk to me in like 3 months. We'll see. We got to revisit this. But I do definitely think it's the future. Like I think by like between like 2030, 2035, you'll never see another person with a green piece of paper in their wallet.
Wow.
I think like it'll totally go paperless. I mean, even like I go to some places now and like they have like option to pay with Venmo, option to pay with like PayPal, like on site. So I do think it's kind of like leaning more in that direction where I feel like some of these different like coins and whatnot like could act as like banks per se.
This
like
thing that scares me is like the volatility in it.
Oh, it's terrible.
So it's like, I don't know. I feel like you need something more from like a constant currency basis.
Oh, when I'm saying no paper money, I feel like people will still obviously like use the dollar. I'm not saying the dollar's going away, but I feel like people will just Venmo, PayPal, that stuff, and just like never, especially with like the whole like COVID thing, and no one ever wants to get sick. Like, no one wants to touch like a dollar bill.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, it kind of depends when you're talking to me, but I am interested. I like reading about it, but even like a lot of the stuff that I read, I'm just kind of like, how did you come to this determination? Because there's nothing like.
Yeah. Like, where did you see that?
Yeah. So a lot of it's like foreign to me, and that's one thing. Like, you talk about people like not wanting to invest, like not like. That's a gamble. I mean, like, I'm in it because I don't want to like get left at the train stop if it pops off.
I wouldn't even say it's a gamble. I think it's just harder to have a foolproof bullish thesis on it.
Oh, 100, yeah. Like
that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah. And also like you don't mess around with it at all, right?
I don't own any because I'm not. That's the thing. Yeah. It's like is that the? It's one of those things like we were talking about. Yeah, is that the best place for my money? Can I find a better deal with a like
I like
acceptable
your thing.
more risk and like a little bit less reward?
Did you say you bought Coinbase, or you were just looking into it?
I was looking into it.
I think that's a good way to get.
I was still looking into it, but then like kind of my life fell apart. So
yeah,
here we are.
I think I saw today it went up by like 10% maybe, or like 8%.
Did it?
Yeah.
I haven't followed any stock prices all week. I've been so invested in something else.
But what I'm saying is, even like you look like on Coinbase, that's just what I use. There's so many of these damn different coins.
Yeah.
I'm just like, so it's tough to follow. I do think it's interesting. I think it definitely has a future. But I also feel like it's a little bit of a lottery ticket.
Yeah, I guess we're honestly just gonna have to wait and see. It's one of those things where I couldn't really make it too big of like any sort of position. I would just kind of like have it in there for the upside, but also understand that it comes with like really big risk. And that's what I was saying. Like, can I find something with like, maybe not as much upside, but with like comparable upside, acceptable upside, and maybe a lot less risk?
Do you think you'll never own crypto, or do you think
I have no idea? As of right now, I have no ambition to. I have no desire to. But it also comes with a lot of different things. As you get wealthier and wealthier, as you make more and more money, you just need to have more asset classes. You need to diversify more. Like, obviously, like, if Warren Buffett's trying to diversify $80 billion, he's going to own a lot more of different assets than I am.
I'd say.
Yeah.
I would say so. maybe this is a stupid question. What's it gonna have to get to for you to get into to look more into it? To get more money, or do you just need
more money,
like...
higher conviction, and as a price wise, I don't have anything specific in mind. Like Bitcoin can go like 10 cents tomorrow. I don't know if I'd buy it.
Yeah.
Like Ethereum can go to $1 tomorrow. I don't know if I'd buy it. That's gonna happen. Probably not. I would say if I was a betting man, I would say that's probably
if Bitcoin
not
goes
going to
to 10
happen.
cents tomorrow, I'm going to be very upset.
But at the same time, I don't really have any concrete plans. It's kind of like putting like maybe the 1 day category, maybe when I can get higher conviction, or maybe when I just have more money and I'm just ready to buy, again, more asset classes. That's what it comes down to.
I think a lot, and like you kind of just brushed on it, a lot of it's calculated risk. How much, how much am I willing? Like the amount that I put in, I mean, I don't want it to go to zero. If it does, I'll be very PO'd. But I was like, well, we'll see. I'd rather have a little bit of skin in the game just in case it does pop. I mean, in case this $100,000 guy.
Yeah, that's fine.
100K,
fine, I think.
100K Bitcoin guy's right. I'll make out a little bit. I guess we'll see.
Completely fine. All right, last thing we're going to go over here before we wrap up. Let's talk about, and this is completely off topic, but I think this is important from a productivity standpoint. What is your morning routine? What do you do? How do you structure your morning routine? That type of thing.
So I just got into a new morning. I've maybe been doing this for like less than a month, probably like 3 weeks. But before that, I had like my morning routine was alarm goes off, wake up, go downstairs, make a couple eggs, go upstairs, shower, leave for work. I have no like not learning anything, just trying to get as much sleep as I can to function for the work day. But I came across a YouTube video that was saying like the 15 minutes before, and like I'll butcher like the science of it or whatever, but the 15 minutes before you go to bed and the 15 minutes after you wake up are like the most critical points of your day. So I've really been trying to like lock in on those.
Really?
Yeah. So morning was the topic. So morning, I'll wake up, and eat. Like I said, this is new. I've only been doing this for like 3 weeks. I write down 3 things that I want to accomplish for the day. Mm-hmm. They literally could be like, be happy. Like, be happy for the day. Like, don't be like miserable.
Do you try to make them more tangible than that?
Oh yeah, it could be anything. Today was like, I don't know, like I didn't have time to hit the gym like after work, like I was doing this. So I went for a jog this morning. And like my goal for the day was throughout the whole day, like hit 5 miles. So I did like 2 mile jog this morning and then like walk like 3 miles throughout the rest of the day. Right. So that was one goal. It could be, read a chapter in the book that I'm reading, or it literally could be anything. But I feel like just to like set yourself up to have like a couple goals, like at the beginning of the day. I mean, I don't want to say that it's critical, but I just think it's like kind of important to have something to try to like hit a goal. So, I mean, writing down 3 goals literally takes like not even a minute.
Yeah.
So that's quick. And then I'll try to just do, and like I'd like it to be longer, but it's not, just like 3 minutes of stretching. Just like some quick stretching.
That's what I got to start doing.
Some quick stretching.
I'd like to start doing some yoga in the morning.
I messed around with a lot of yoga during quarantine last year, but I fell off so hard.
How'd you like it?
I actually really liked it.
I've never heard anyone say anything bad about it.
I've heard people. I've heard some people not like it.
I haven't asked a ton of people.
Yeah.
I don't have a very large sample size there.
I liked it. I don't want to say I don't have the time for it, but like, so here's the thing. I liked it, but it's also like if I want to spend like, a half hour, 45 minutes working out, it's like not that kind of a workout I want to do, like I've been, so
I looked at it. I've never done it, but I've looked at it as more of almost like an active meditation in a way. Like that's kind of how I looked at it.
I was just about to say.
Like I wouldn't, if I did yoga in the morning, I wouldn't say that suffices for going to the gym in the afternoon,
Exactly.
in my opinion.
100%. Yeah, maybe if I start waking up like a half hour earlier, I can start doing that.
What time do you get up?
I get up, well, it depends. If I'm going to like jog in the morning, I don't jog in the morning every day. Today I got up at 6. I usually get up at 6:40 if I'm not going for a run.
Right.
But yeah, so I'll write down, so that's my new thing. 3 things that I want to accomplish for the day. In that same breath, like talking about routine, like kind of like I said, like the 15 minutes before you go to bed, I try to like a half hour before I go to bed, like this, like charged up, like not using my phone, like not looking at the screen before I go to bed. And then in that same breath, like going with these 3 things, I don't know why I came across this. I try to write like 3 things I was grateful for the day, like 3 good things that happened in the day.
I think that I read a book. What was the name of it? Story Worthy, I think it was. I read it, and
Surprisingly, haven't heard of that one.
it's pretty good, but it's about how this guy was asked about if he had to write a book on his life, and I might be butchering this a little bit, but if he had to write a book on his life, and he realized he didn't have, I guess, the skills to tell that story, so he started to be a storyteller. And what he started to implement to realize how exciting his life was, on top of learning how to be a storyteller, is he started to write down one thing at the end of every day, like the highlight of his day.
Yeah, I think that's super productive, and it's definitely like good for you. Just to, I feel like there's just so much doom and gloom in the world. It's just like to be able to look back, and like, even one is good, but. And I'm not saying like I was ecstatic about like 3 things, but just 3 things went well today. You know, I did this, I accomplished this at work, I got a good workout in, and like spent time with my family.
Yeah, and it's like friends, crazy, because it's like even on the worst days that I've had, like I mean awful, there's still something bright in there. Something.
Of course. No, 100%. It's like bad days are only like it's just in your mind. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of times, like,
what actually is like a bad day?
Yeah.
You like everything.
You're right. I think you're right.
At the end of the day, like it's really just how you portray things, like whether or not it's a bad day or a good day. It's all your mind.
Sometimes I think people are going to have bad days. Like, it's just like the world's against you.
That's a good point.
I do think a lot of times, like, people, I guess, really mess up their days on their own. Like they get stuck in traffic, and it's like the world's against me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like
it's
bro,
not just you. It's not just you stuck in traffic.
Yeah, it's like
all
there's
these
also
other people.
400 cars behind you. There's also 10,000 people in LA sitting bumper to bumper traffic right now.
Exactly.
Like, get over it.
The world is not just out to get you. So yeah, and then so that's like the one like morning routine thing that I've kind of been getting into that I think is, I don't want to say like kind of like trying to like set myself up for success for the day. But then after that, it's just like make breakfast, hop in the shower.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I try, and Tyler actually gave me this idea when he came on the podcast, but I try to listen to motivational music. Like the second I get off, I put my phone, not motivational music, like a motivational like speaker on YouTube. Like put that at, I'll put my phone, like, you know what my bed is. I'll put my phone like near my desktop, my computer. And then once it goes off, like I find doing that really gets me to jump out of bed, because I'm just like, automatically annoyed that I have to get up, but annoyed in a good way. And I jump up, I'm ready to go. I turn the alarm off, and I put my headphones in. I try to listen to something motivational, like as I make my bed, as I make the coffee, like drink some water, like do like for like 5 or 10 minutes, just to do some simple things. And I find that really, really gets me going.
How long have you been doing that for?
Not long, a few weeks.
Oh, cool.
It's been off and on, because sometimes I'm just like, I gotta get up and just go. Like, or I'm just like, or there's something going on. But most of the days I have done it, or every day I've done it, has had a good result. I've always loved it. And even the days I'm just like, I wake up and I'm like, you know, walking over to the alarm, turn it off, like I'm barely awake, and I put my headphones in. I start moving around, I start making the bed. I'm like, you know what? It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, no, I like that. That's a good way to start the day.
When he said that, I'm like, that is a great idea. I also try to meditate in the morning. I was talking about this with Nick on the last episode. I think every single person should meditate, and I don't think there's any reason why anyone should not be meditating.
5 minutes a day.
Like, you don't have 5 minutes a day, then you better be busier than Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk combined. So I'm sure even they can provide you 5 minutes a day.
You better have a crap ton of money if you're that busy.
You got that right. I also, this is getting a little tighter, all this stuff, now that I have to go to the office for a couple weeks, so it's kind of like changing. Try to go for a run, try to do something active, try to get outside, because obviously sunlight's very important. I think that's something people don't get a lot of, especially with work from home. I think that really hinders a lot of people.
100%.
People don't even understand how important sunlight is to your happiness, to how you feel, to exercise and metabolism. There's so many different things that sunlight does that people just do not understand.
Totally agree. When I was working from home, I would try to like go outside and like even work, like, this sounds weird, but like work with my shirt off for like 20 minutes and just get like some full body sun.
Yeah.
Like, obviously when it was nice out, you know?
Yeah.
So
I also do try to, I don't necessarily write down goals, because I kind of have like a schedule, and I know like it's not like my days, relatively not repetitive, I want to say, but I know
everyone's day is repetitive in some way.
Week to week, what day I have to have the project I'm working on done by. Like I have deadlines already set, like before I even start the project.
Definitely.
Like I have that all planned out. But I do try to journal a little bit, like how am I feeling? Why am I feeling this way? Like how can I make myself feel better if I'm not feeling that great? If I'm feeling great, why am I feeling great? Like I really try to
I like that.
dig deep and find those underlying reasons and
You
really
do that
try
in the
to
morning?
figure that out. Usually, I do it in the morning.
You're a morning person.
I am a morning person. I think your morning routine is very important. I think a bad morning routine can really set yourself up for really big failures. I think those people that, and I know you're one of them, so I'm sorry to say this, but I think those people that set an alarm for 7:30 to get to work for 8, I think those are some of the people that are going to have the hardest time.
Hey, I'm getting better.
You don't, yeah, but you don't. I don't think you have to be someone that's up at like 3:45 like Tim Cook, and that's just like grind all day long. I'm like, no, you can wake up at like 6. You can go for a light jog. You can do some journaling, you do some meditating, maybe some yoga, stretch a little bit, go for a walk, even get some sunlight, and you can have. I think you're gonna have a 10 times better day as opposed to someone who does not do that.
When I worked from home, I would do a little morning yoga, or I would do like I've always like liked going to the gym and stuff. Played sports like in high school, and I like going to the gym after work just because it gives me something to look forward to like after the workday. But when I was working from home, I would do like a little workout or a little yoga when I woke up. And it's nice to like wake up and do something that you actually like and not wake up and like run to get to something that most people don't want to do, which is work.
Yeah.
So that I think there's something to be said for that as well.
Yeah, I really like exercising in the morning. I like to run in the morning and then go to the gym like midday. Obviously, it doesn't work like that, but the reason that you always hear like the sayings like get up in the morning, exercise in the morning, it's good for you. The reason they say that is because your amygdala, which is what causes like anxiety, stress, all these things, like essentially what exercise does, it suppresses it. So if you get up in the morning, exercise before you get stuck in traffic, before you go to the office and have to answer all these crazy emails, before you have to deal with all your coworkers, you're essentially already ahead. Like imagine starting a basketball game up 10-0. Like it's kind of like that's how I look at it as.
That'd be nice, right?
Yeah.
I wish my favorite team could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually super interesting. For me, it's always just been like, okay, like school sucks, like work is work. I at least want to have something to look forward to at night. I don't want to have to just go home and just chill out and do nothing.
That's fair.
So that's just always been my way to look at it.
Anyway, Blake, thanks so much for coming on, man. This is a lot of fun.
Josh, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
You guys, thanks so much for watching. If you got to this point in the video or if you got to this point in the podcast, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, download as always, and I will see you guys in the next one.